or your sister Ivanka or Eric or any other member of your family, are you planning to help your dad woo delegates one by one on behalf of your father?
You know, I think we'll do some of that. I think that's natural. But, you know, I think his biggest thing is wanting to change the process. The fact that the average voter doesn't even know that their vote may not matter, or that, you know, their vote matters, but if you don't talk about the delegates, you know, my father could do more wooing than anyone. He just doesn't want to play the game that way. He doesn't think that's right for the country. Why should a couple people who are establishment elitists get to go on beautiful vacations? I mean, he could send his private plane and take them down to Durrell. They could play golf for a week, and then we win their delegate. That's not the way this country should be run, Jake. I'm here with 2 congressmen from the state of Pennsylvania, and we have to print out cards because every district of the hundreds of districts in the state have 3 people that could serve as delegates for us or for someone else. So you could actually win the state in a landslide. And of the 70-something delegates that are there, you only get 17. The other 50 and change, they're up for grabs for whoever bribes them. I mean, this isn't America. This isn't a country. I mean, this is the way it's been. And some of these systems, I understand, they made sense 200 years ago when everyone lived on a farm in the middle of nowhere. But I have the Library of Congress in my iPhone. I have all the information I could possibly need. Most people still have cable television and certainly access to news. They know what's going on. They don't need this archaic system. But the establishment, you know, and the guys like Ted Cruz, they love this system because they don't actually have to appeal to the voters. They don't have to care what the voters say. They just have to go grab these umpteen people who've been party loyalists and do whatever the party says. And that's the problem in Washington. That's what creates the stalemate.
So
and let me finish. Yeah. Because the one thing I'll say is I know guys that have been involved in the political process in this state and other states for a long time, and they had no idea. I mean, these are people that have supported at a high level, congressmen, senators, various, and they had no idea this is the process, that basically people could be bought this way. And the American people are finally catching on. They should be, and they are disgusted, Jake.
So you don't like it. I understand you don't like the system, but I guess what I don't understand is, are you going to try to woo delegates according to the system and then try to change it? Or is your dad saying, no, we're not going to?
Well, listen, I think we're going to do what we need to win to a point, but I think we want to win without having to do that. You know, Ted Cruz has no chance of winning this without bribing the delegates. That's his game at this point, okay? He's mathematically eliminated, but that's his game from day one because he's not an appealing candidate to the general election voter. So he'll try to get there. He'll do this. He'll lose more states than Mitt Romney because I can't name a single state that Mitt lost that Ted can possibly win. So I think at this point, the Republican establishment would much rather just hand the things over to Hillary, hand the reins over to her, let her run it, because guess what? There's no accountability in the party. You lose, it doesn't matter. You win, okay, great, you win. Because everyone's in on the same thing. All their job is to protect the little cliques that they formed, to keep their, you know, the big paychecks rolling from their special interests. And that's the same thing with the delegate process that we're seeing today.
Don, do you think, so just to reiterate something you just said, you think that the Republican establishment would rather run Ted Cruz and lose with him than have your father be the nominee?
You know, there are decisions that are being made, and there's things that I see and actions happening that make me really question whether they actually want someone who could actually win. When I see all the people in this state, because I'm in Pennsylvania today, who've switched over, and the hundreds of thousands of people all over the country who've switched over from being independents to being Republicans, to switch over from being Democrats to being Republicans, and they don't embrace that. Instead, they go with, want to try to push someone else who has zero chance of winning anywhere else. It doesn't make any sense to me.